generation. They were buried underground, and what the box would have generally would be built of bricks or something to kind of give it some stability. But they were just asking to fall down, and to fall down. If they didn't fall down naturally, they were vandalism got the box tombs. And once they fell, they usually broke.
There was airspace in there between the slab and the ground on top of the slab.
Yes, it's all empty. Generally, yeah.
They're also called false tombs. False tombs. I call them vaults.
No, I don't believe so. The only Rawlings I know are in this section. Now this fellow confused me for a long time. This was a box tomb, and before I even knew what box tombs were, and I knew that this was out here. That was dug up, but I couldn't figure out, there was no dates or anything on it. I couldn't quite figure that out. And then one day I hit a stone over here, and it turned out to be this one. When I got confused, I thought, well, why does he have two gravestones? Well, he didn't have two gravestones. He had a box tomb. This was the top of the box tomb, and this was the end piece. And on the end piece, it had his name, date of birth, date of death, and the number of his age at the time of death. He was a young man, 22 years old. And many of these people were employed in the Shelby County government out here. These deaths in the 1830s, 40s, and 50s, either in the Shelby County government or as merchants in the Raleigh community. Okay, this grave right here, the Fars, that is a cenotaph. It's clearly fairly new. I didn't know the history of that. The Fars were an early family in Shelby County, and they actually lived over closer to Bartlett. And they had their tract of land, whether you want to call it a plantation or what, I don't know, but it was called Cedar Grove. And they obviously died many years ago, I think 1841, yeah. And a relative contacted me several years ago who was very elderly and lived in New Orleans, and told me that his father had placed that stone out here in the 1930s. But he didn't know where they were really buried, so he just put it out here. So I would call that a cenotaph. The Fars are not technically buried there. We don't know where they are buried. But if you look at her name particularly, actually both the Fars and the Allens, if you start doing genealogy research for people in this cemetery, they're all, so many, especially in this section, they're all connected. This was Shelby County, northern Shelby County was a very shallow dating pool, apparently, in those days. And